It's interesting because even in the last episode, there was this overall underlying theme of like, it was we had Ingmar Klein, who was the founder of this startup called Hustle.
Okay.
And he was talking about the importance of mentors as well. He was like, I had this mentor and he's kind of guided me. And now I'm starting to see that Neeraj also had a mentor who kind of like directed you in that direction. Here's something that's interesting. How important is it for people to kind of try and find a mentor that helps guide them, especially students who are from backgrounds which are, say, less privileged in the sense that you don't get access to people naturally, like your parents' friends are in the industry. So how important is it for people to actually try and find a mentor?
I think it's extremely important to have a mentor, but I wouldn't say that it's something that students need to try and find, because it's something that comes very naturally. I think the best mentors are ones you find when you're not really looking for a mentor. So for me, like I mean, I didn't even know what a mentor does, to be honest, right? And like I just knew that like this guy was nice when I met him, and like, you know, actually gave time to talk to me at like different networking events when, like, you know, people like, you know, right, like at UCL, like there would be like probably 200 students for like 5 people who come from different companies, and I almost felt sorry for them. I'm like I remember speaking to him and he was just really sweet, so I thought, like, if I want to know about consulting, I want to know from this guy. So I spoke to him. He was very passionate about what he did, and I've ended up finding it quite cool what he did, and that ended up being my foray into consulting, and he's still a good friend. So he's first a friend and then a mentor at this point. But coming to the question, yes, I think it's very important to have a mentor, just purely because it's someone you trust, and it's someone who's interested in the same things that you're interested in, and because they're in more of a mentor role in that relationship, they've actually done more, and they're kind of further along that timeline in that field, right? Like, and it's very good to understand what their experiences are, because they can be very honest with you. It's very helpful for you to ask them questions that are very like specialized to you. So anyone can look at YouTube videos and whatnot and to understand a bit more, but that's more generic, right? Like when you have a mentor, it's a lot more contextual, because they know you and they can guide you in a particular way. And like, who don't like friends, to be honest? So I think it's a very important and a very nice relationship. And I've noticed that it's not a one-way street at all when it comes to mentorship, because there are a lot of ideas that you can bounce off them that you end up working together. There are a lot of ideas they can bounce off you and you end up working together. There is so much give and take even in a mentor-mentee relationship, and it's not only, oh, let me meet you and let me learn from you. It's more, let's talk, because we are similar people interested in similar things. And I think that's something that's quite cool, and that's very important. And especially, as you said, right, like from people who don't come with as privileged backgrounds, where your parent can just hit up the MD at JP Morgan and be like, right, can you give him a job, right? It like for them, like, even if, say, like it doesn't work that way, where like someone can just give them a job, but like someone would just at least be willing to talk to them and like give them a lot of context on like what they do and stuff, and give them very, very good guidance on like the next steps they can take in order to achieve what they want to achieve. So I think for anyone, privileged or not privileged, it's a good relationship to have, but especially if you don't have those connections already in the industry, I think it just becomes all the more important.
It's super interesting that you really, it feels like you really enjoy it. And I think Mane also mentioned that you also are a mentor for other people, so you enjoy helping them too.
So, I mean, that comes from this, again, more context, like that there are so many people which I've actually sent your way, you know, people who've been applying, people from Sri Lanka and stuff, that I've been like, oh, yeah, this is great guy that you have to talk to. And just the fact that I've sent so many people your way to talk to you and figure out their applications in their life tells me that, like, you do this for other people as well. Yes. And I know you did it for me as well. When we were applying, we would do mock interviews. I remember, like, I was looking at how you were preparing for those assessment centers and stuff back in the day. And I mean, you've like looked at my stuff as well. You've helped me. So it's an assumption but I can only guess that you do help a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so maybe a little bit on that, like what do people generally struggle with, and what are the quick fixes that a lot of people can do?
No, absolutely. And I do like to speak to a lot of different people who are going through something that I went through a couple of years ago, right? And like it's only fair because when I was a bit lost, I spoke to a lot of people who guided me a lot and like who gave me all that support. And I think in just by looking at how competitive these jobs and like entry level jobs, right? These are not like MD positions, these are analyst positions. And just looking at how competitive these are, I think it's very important to kind of just get the knowledge back, just because how much you would have struggled without it. So yeah, that's why I do it, and it doesn't take a lot. Like a 30-minute call like makes all the difference, right?